Buenos días a todos. Quiero agradecerles por acompañarnos el día de hoy en este evento. Mi nombre es Alejandra Zapata y hago parte del equipo de Consejería Académica y Relaciones Internacionales de Colfutur. Hoy damos continuidad a nuestra jornada de las becas del 100% que tenemos gracias a nuestros convenios. Todos los días de febrero vamos a intentar contar con una universidad diferente para que nos pueda contar un poco. El día de hoy nos acompaña Aremi y Claudia, quienes son representantes de Florida International University. Nos estarán contando un poco sobre la oferta académica que tienen disponible. Adicionalmente a eso, también nos estarán contando sobre la beca del 100% en programas de doctorados, más los costos de seguro médico, que es el convenio que tenemos actualmente. Al final vamos a tener un espacio de preguntas y respuestas, entonces si van teniendo dudas a lo largo de la charla, pueden escribirlas en el cajón que está en la parte inferior de la pantalla, en el Q&A, y al final les vamos a comenzar a dar respuesta a estas preguntas. Aremi, thank you so much for joining us, for your time, and for your interest to present the institution. So you can start.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Aremi Velasco. I'm an admissions counselor from FIU, and I'm more than happy to be presenting to you today about our wonderful university and hopefully answer some of your questions. So as you can see on the screen, FIU is located in Miami, Florida. We are in sunny Miami, which is on the southeast coast of the United States. And this is a beautiful picture of our campus. So a little bit more about FIU, just to kind of give you an idea of what our university is like and what we're known for. We are truly an international campus because we have over 11 campuses and centers anywhere from Miami to China to DC. So again, we are truly international. Our middle name is international. Besides that, we are a large public university and a large public research university, right? So we're among the 4th largest public research university in the United States. We also have the highest research classification, which is offered by Carnegie Foundation. So research is super important for graduate students. So we're proud to say that we are recognized so highly in research. Florida is actually the #1 state in the nation for higher education. And this is according to US News and World Report. So we are a very highly ranked university, but why, right? So for example, 96% of our professors have the highest degree in the field. So the professors who are standing in front of your classroom, who are teaching and talking to you and giving you your material, they are the experts in the field. They themselves have done the latest research in their field and they have the highest qualifications, right? FIU is also known for having the only underwater laboratory in the entire world, which is something our marine biology and our marine students can take advantage of, but something you might want to check out as well during your time at FIU. We are a large public university. We have about 58,000 students and a little bit over 7,000 students are international at FIU. So a little bit more about us. We have over 200 graduate programs that you can take advantage of at FIU. This includes masters, PhDs, and certificate programs. We also have top 50 graduate programs in 15 different categories among US public universities. So a lot of our graduate programs are ranked highly. You can see some of those rankings in the second half of the screen. So in the US, we're #1 for real estate research and #2 in the world. We have a great hospitality school. We have the most diverse medical school in the US. We're #14 in social mobility. And a lot of our business programs are also very highly ranked. Some more about FIU and resources and opportunities that you have. Since we are such a large research university and institution, we have science laboratories, hospitality laboratories. There's a lot of opportunity for you to get hands-on research, no matter what degree or what field you're going into. A little bit more about us. I just want to spotlight some of our programs. So for example, we have a master's or a bridge program in architecture that's very common and very popular amongst students at FIU. Our architecture students, they have the opportunity to actually design and build new buildings on campus. We really trust and we really value our architecture students, so why not have them give their input and design new buildings on campus? Not only do they have those partnerships and those opportunities on campus, but they can also take advantage of things off campus. For example, our architecture students, they partner with local agencies like the City of Miami Beach, right? To perform and design and build things for the City of Miami Beach. So these are some of the opportunities as an architecture student, but also our engineering students. We have the wall of wind that can produce up to Category 5 hurricanes. So if you're an engineering student and you work on a project, you might want to test it out with the wall of wind. We have engineering students who are building prosthetic arms or working on flying motorcycles. And these are really cool things that you can see that not only our engineering students have opportunity to, or our architecture students, but every program at FIU is going to give you the chance to really excel and take on projects and opportunities that will benefit you and are leading, right, against other universities. So a little bit more about our programs. There's a really cool link that I want to share with you. Like I mentioned, we have over 200 programs, but if you go to that link on the screen, go.fiu.edu/grad programs, you can actually filter through all of our graduate programs. And the really cool thing about this website is that you can choose between doctoral, master's, specialist, or certificate degrees. And then once you click on a program, so for example, if you clicked on accounting, right, the master's, it'll show you the contact for that program. So the one person that you really need to be communicating with and emailing, you'll be able to find that information on that website. You can see when the start terms are. So that's basically when students can apply to begin at FIU. You'll see things like deadlines, different requirements, right? So whether it's we have a minimum GPA that we require, if we require the GRE or not, and other additional requirements, which we can talk a little bit about. And I'll go ahead and send this link in the chat just in case anybody wants to click on it and save it for future use. Any questions so far? If there's any questions, you can go ahead and drop them in the chat. I know we have a Q&A session after where I'll be more than happy to go ahead and answer those questions as well. So this is a beautiful picture of the FIU campus. I just wanted to show a little bit about where we are and what we look like. You can see Miami, downtown Miami in the skyline towards the back. It takes about 20 minutes to go from one end of campus to the other end. So we are a very large campus. The main buildings that you see towards the bottom of the screen are our housing opportunities. So if you wanted to stay on campus at FIU, you could. It's not a requirement, so you don't have to stay on campus. If you wanted to stay off campus, you definitely could as well. As you can see, we have a pool, and we have different buildings on campus, whether you need for classes or resources or food options. We have all of that on campus. A little bit more about what you can find in this very large campus. We have a lot of dining options, right? So it might not be the first thing that you're thinking about, but it's definitely a plus to know that you're going to have a lot of different opportunities to eat different types of food. If you miss food from home, we definitely have a lot of different types of cuisine, including Hispanic food on campus. We have a gym where you can work off those calories. It's a 3-story gym. Students have even said that they've found the FIU president or the FIU previous president running in the indoor track on the 3rd floor. So if you wanted to meet the FIU president, you might be able to. We have a ropes course. We have a bookstore on campus. Basically, the idea is that once you're at FIU, we want to make sure that you're not leaving the campus, or you don't have to leave the campus, that everything you need is right here at FIU. So let's talk a little bit about the application process. I just want you to keep in mind that the application process for graduate students is a little bit special, right? So there are a couple of things that are the same, but every graduate program at FIU kind of has its own requirements, right? They're all very unique and they're all very different for the application process. What stays the same, however, is the online application. You have to go to our website, iadmis.fiu.edu. There's a big yellow button that says apply now. You can go ahead and do that, apply, pay the $30 fee. On that application, it's very quick, very simple, 20 minutes. You're going to put your name, your address, the program that you're interested in, And on that application, you'll be able to put supplemental documents like your resume, or even put down who you're going to be using for your letters of recommendation. So for graduate students, most programs will require letters of recommendation. Again, you want to check with your program of choice how many letters of recommendation they're going to require and if they require them at all, but you could do that through your application portal. We're also going to need official transcripts. So this is something that a lot of students are confused about. They ask us if we can submit unofficial transcripts for the application process, and then once they're admitted, submit official ones. As of January of this year, we are only accepting official transcripts for both the application process and after, right? So when you are applying to FIU, we will need official transcripts. So what does this mean? Let me explain a little bit about what we consider official transcripts. Your previous institution, your university, has to be the one to send us your transcripts directly, right? So we do accept electronic transcripts. So if your school wants to email them to us, they definitely can. Our email is on the screen, iadmis@fiu.edu. So keep in mind that we will need official transcripts. So whether it's through email, there's also a few different electronic services that you might use, like Parchment, for example. These are websites that your institution can use to send us your university transcripts. Your university might have a portal that it has that you can send transcripts, as long as it's going from institution to institution, right? The student cannot be the one submitting the transcripts. Something else to keep in mind regarding transcripts, we will need official English translations, right? So your official transcripts might be in a different language other than English. We will need those original ones that are in a foreign language. But in addition to that, we will need English translations. As long as the company is ATA certified, we can accept those transcripts, right? So it doesn't have to be an agency within the US. As long as they are ATA certified, you can use one back home. And I'll go ahead and type that out in the chat so you know what I'm referring to, ATA certified. And then the next step is really checking with your graduate program. So like that website I showed you earlier, where you can click on the master's program or the doctoral program that you're interested in, they'll tell you what else is required. Typically, it'll be a variation of the same things. So it could be an essay, or it could be a statement of purpose. They might ask you for the GRE or the GMAT. Some programs are waiving it due to COVID. You always have to double check and confirm with the program of choice. They might also ask you for a specific minimum GPA, or you might only qualify for that program if your bachelor's degree is in a specific field, right? So these are things you want to check before you apply to the program. Make sure you have everything and you're prepared, right, to submit all of those things before the deadline. Okay. I know I see some questions coming in. Trust me, I'll get to those as soon as possible. I want to make sure we go through the presentation, and then I'll go ahead and answer all your questions. So let's talk about money. A lot of students love money, right? It's one of the biggest reasons why you're here. We do offer up to 100% coverage for some students if they qualify. International students are very open to these opportunities, right? So that's one of the biggest questions we ask, right? FIU has the opportunity, but is it open to international students? The answer is yes, right? Students can receive funding in the form of scholarships, assistantships, or fellowships. I have a little bit of information about all of these opportunities up on the screen. Graduate assistantships are basically a paid position where you're teaching, conducting research, or you have other responsibilities, but you are getting paid, right? So this might be, through this position, you might be provided a stipend, a tuition waiver, and covered health insurance. You also will be classified either as a graduate assistant, a teaching assistant, or a research assistant. So there are very different types of assistantships. Keep in mind, all of these opportunities have their own application process, and they have special deadlines, right? So if the program that you want to apply to says that the deadline is March 1st, right? That's just an example. Some of these opportunities might ask that you apply earlier, right? And submit additional documents. So you really want to double check before you start applying and you start checking things. You want to verify what the correct deadline is so that you can take advantage of all of these opportunities. Then we also have graduate fellowships. These are basically merit-based awards. They are limited and very competitive, but they are offered for prospective students, new and continuing. So whether you're starting at FIU or you've been at FIU, you can take advantage of these merit-based awards if you qualify. And we also have external fellowships through external organizations, and there's different scholarships, right? So since fall 2021, we started a partnership with Colfuturo. There are Colfuturo scholarships that can be given to students. So these are different opportunities that if you apply to them, you can get full funding for your career, right? These assistantships and these fellowships can vary in stipend. They might be partial stipends, or they can be completely like total, included everything type of funding. So this link down there where you see gradschool.fiu.edu/students/funding, this is the main website for funding opportunities for graduate students at FIU. If you visit this, you'll see a page for all of our different scholarships, positions, their deadlines, the qualifications and the requirements for those opportunities. So I definitely recommend that you check those out. The second website, the Academic Works website, is our scholarship website. Just a warning, when you go onto this website, you will see a combination of all of the scholarships at FIU. So this includes undergraduate and graduate scholarships. You want to make sure that you're looking for the graduate scholarships, right? So always make sure you're applying to the correct scholarship. You'll even notice that some of these scholarships are targeted towards specific programs or specific types of students. My recommendation is just take some time, go through all of the different scholarships, check the requirements, and see which ones you're eligible for and you might want to apply for. Next, what do we do once you've been admitted to the program, right? So these are things that you might want to keep in mind even while the application process, because they are going to be required by the student, right? So first, you want to tell us that you definitely want to come, right? That you want to accept your admission. Every program might have a different deadline. Typically, if you're starting in the fall, the deadline to accept admission is May 1st. When you accept your admission, you have to pay a $200 deposit, but this will go towards your tuition for your first semester. Then you're going to have to submit your financial documents. This is something that you might want to have handy while you're in the application process, because as soon as you submit your financial documents, we'll go through the immigration and the visa process, right? So this is something that a lot of students are always concerned about and they want a lot of information on. We will give you an I-20. The university will give you an I-20, which you can use when you go to your visa appointment, and then you can get your visa through the I-20. So we will support you throughout the visa and the immigration process. Just know that you have to submit these documents that you see on the screen. They can also be found on the International Admissions website. This includes a bank letter, a DCF letter, sponsor letter, and a copy of your passport. All documents have to be in English and written in English. And you can email all of those documents to us, and we will go ahead and process them for you. You also want to sign up for orientation. We have an international student orientation, and every grad program typically hosts an orientation as well. If you want to stay on campus, meaning you want to be at FIU, staying at one of our dorms, we do have an application that you have to submit. So you just want to make sure that you're keeping track of that and those deadlines. If you're not interested in staying on campus, you can also stay off campus. And we have definitely a lot of different opportunities. There's a website where you can go and browse through the different off-campus opportunities, and I will go ahead and put that in the chat as well for you. And again, remember, it's not required to stay on campus your first year. You can choose if you want to stay on campus or off campus. And then the next step is turning in your immunization records and also filling things out with your insurance. Once you're admitted and you accept your admission, you will get a hold for these different documents. These holds will not allow you to enroll in classes. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of all of these things so you can remove those holds and then you can enroll in classes. Keep in mind, during your first semester at FIU, we will also ask you for proof of official documents. So this includes your official degree. You can have your university submit proof of your official diploma and official degree. Or if not, you can come during your first semester to the International Admissions Office, show us your official diploma, and we will go ahead and process that and remove the hold for you. So the next thing is really just staying connected with the Office of International Admissions and your program. You can follow the Office of International Admissions on Instagram. We're always posting updates regarding different things on our Instagram. If you have any questions, you can send us a message. We follow back. So if you follow us, we'll definitely follow you back. We also have a website, internationaladmissions.fiu.edu, where you can find more information on everything I discussed today and more. So that's a little bit about us. I kind of went through a little bit quickly, but I wanted to make sure we had enough time to answer all the questions. So please feel free to start sending those in. I see we have a few already in the chat. Alejandra, do you want me to just go through the ones that are open in the chat, or how would you like to?
Yes, thank you so much. There are some questions I'm going to read for you, okay?
Okay.
The first question is for Maria Paula. She says, does the transcripts need to send via LSAC?
Yes. So if you're applying for the law school or the law program at FIU, you do have to go through the LSAC process and submit your official documents and transcripts through LSAC. And then they'll go ahead and process that for the university that you choose.
Okay, Carolina says, I have the unofficial transcript. Can I attach this, or it's mandatory, the official? In such case, the university could send the official transcript after the deadline.
Okay, so we will not be able to accept unofficial transcripts. We do need the official ones, and they have to be sent before the deadline, right? So your official transcripts will be considered part of the application process. So if you submit those with your application, it has to be done before the deadline.
Okay. Paula says, has FIU available a residence building for foreign post students?
So we do have housing opportunities on campus. They're not sorted for international versus domestic. It's kind of all FIU students based on availability and the type of housing that you choose. We do have different apartment styles and different dorm styles. So it really comes down to which one you choose. But you won't be with just international students. You'll be with both international and domestic.
Mm-hmm. Says it is possible to apply to medicine program if you are international student.
So the College of Medicine at FIU specifically right now only accepts resident and US citizens. To apply for the College of Medicine, you do have to have an undergraduate degree. If you don't, you can do pre-law at FIU, pre-medicine at FIU as an undergraduate degree. But the FIU College of Medicine does require for you to be a US citizen or a resident at this time.
Okay, can I get the Colfuturo scholarship and an assistantship for the monthly spend at the same time?
So I'm not 100% sure, but I believe so, that you would be able to get the Colfuturo scholarship and an assistantship. If you apply for both and you're eligible for both and you are awarded both, you may be able to. And I think Claudia is nodding that yes, you can.
Mm-hmm. Paula says there is an option for a campus housing. So what are the requirements for apply?
For the application process, there aren't any specific requirements that you have to meet. It's just a matter of going through your portal, selecting the housing option that you want, and just filling out the documentation. It's really more for you to choose and secure your spot rather than meeting any requirements.
Mm-hmm. And how is the process to apply to the scholarship through Colfuturo?
So I'm not 100% sure about this question. I don't know if Claudia and Joanna have more information about the Colfuturo scholarship. I know it is offered. I'm just not sure if you get it through Colfuturo or through FIU.
Ok, aquí yo puedo responder esta pregunta. Para acceder a cualquier convenio que tiene Colfuturo, ustedes tienen que ser seleccionados en la convocatoria del 11 de enero al 28 de febrero y adicionalmente a eso tienen que tener la carta de admisión a la universidad. Una vez el 12 de mayo nosotros damos los resultados, esa lista de estudiantes, por ejemplo, que aplicaron al FIU, nosotros le enviamos esa lista a la universidad y ellos van a tomar la decisión de a quién le van a dar este descuento, pero obligatoriamente beneficiarios de Colfuturo y tienen que estar admitidos a la universidad. Okay, María Paula asks, LLM are not eligible to apply for the benefits with Colfuturo to pay as an in-state student?
Well, I'm not sure if there's any specific program that the Partnership for Cofuturo is allowing the scholarship. I know that the law students, the application process is through LSAC, right? Because it's a little bit particular, but I'm not sure if maybe if you are granted admission that they can apply through the Cofuturo scholarship. Alejandra, I'm not sure if you know maybe.
Sí, para Colfuturo no hay áreas específicas en las que te puedas aplicar. Vamos a beneficiar a cualquier área de estudio, cualquier estudiante. Entonces,
Okay.
María Fernanda asks, there is a collaborate agreement between FIU and Colfuturo, and it states that for master students may be eligible for this agreement, which are the conditions to be eligible.
So the requirements for the Cofuturo scholarship, I'm sorry, I don't really know the requirements for the Cofuturo scholarship.
Para Colfuturo, lo que vamos a mirar primero es el promedio de su pregrado. Adicionalmente a esto, si durante su pregrado tuvieron premios o distinciones, un ensayo motivacional y el programa escogido. Entonces aquí vamos a mirar que vamos a escoger a los mejores estudiantes para que se vayan a las mejores universidades a estudiar los mejores programas. Okay.
Thank you, Alejandra.
Can I apply to a PhD with a bachelor's degree?
So I think it depends on the program, but more often than not, yes, you can apply for a PhD to be considered if you only have a bachelor's degree.
Okay. How many scholarships do you have for the agreement?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm sorry. This is my first time working like with the Cofuturo agreement, so I don't know the little details. I just know that the scholarship is available.
Okay.
If I may add, I'm sorry, if I may add, we don't have a set number available. It will depend on how many students Colfuturo refers to us, and then we'll go from there. Since this is our first round working with Colfuturo on this.
Exactamente. Albert asks, I'm a resident in Florida and professional graduate in a Colombian university. It is possible to apply for a scholarship with Colfuturo. Sí, si tienes la nacionalidad colombiana, puedes presentarte a la convocatoria de Colfuturo. Solamente financiamos personas colombianas, puedes tener doble nacionalidad, pero lo importante es que te presentes con la cédula colombiana en la convocatoria. Okay, good morning. I want to ask if the official transcript needs to be translated. I understood not, but I want to be sure. Thanks.
So let me clarify, we do need translations. So we need two things. We need the original transcripts, which may be in Spanish or any other foreign language. And additionally, we will need a copy of English translations.
Okay. La pregunta de Natalie. Nuevamente, la beca del 100% para aplicar a los convenios de Colfuturo. Los estudiantes tienen que ser beneficiarios de la convocatoria de Colfuturo. Adicionalmente, tienen que tener la carta de admisión de la universidad. El 12 de mayo, que nosotros damos los resultados, enviamos esa lista a la universidad y como lo mencionaba Claudia, pues ellos van a tomar la decisión de a quién le van a dar el beneficio. Alba, I'm still studying an undergraduate degree, but it's my last semester. Can I still apply for the scholarship with Colfuturo?
I think as long as by the time that the program begins, you've already graduated, you should be able to already apply.
Recuerda que para Colfuturo debes mostrar el promedio de tu pregrado. Adicionalmente, si tuviste premios y distinciones, si estás en el último semestre, la universidad puede certificarte esto, puedes postularte a la convocatoria de Colfuturo. Bueno. María Fernanda asks, I know the requirements for Colfuturo, but you are saying that once you are benefit, You send a list to the FIU, and the end of the process is the university who decides which are the requirements that the university have into account.
I'm not sure if maybe you want to answer this one.
So there are no additional requirements. As long as the student has already been admitted to the graduate program at FIU, and as long as Colfuturo has referred the student to us, they should be able to receive the benefits.
Mm-hmm. It is possible to apply to 2 different programs for the Colfuturo scholarships. No, para Colfuturo solamente te puedes postular con un solo programa. Solamente es un programa el que vamos a calificar. No pueden ser 2 programas. Ok, bueno, ya están haciendo preguntas puntualmente de Colfuturo, cómo acceder a la beca de Colfuturo. Para esto y para ampliar la información, los invito a que puedan acceder a nuestra charla informativa. En enero y febrero van a ser todos los viernes a las 8 de la mañana y el segundo sábado de cada mes a las 9:30 de la mañana. Entonces, los invito a la charla del 4 de febrero, que será a las 8 de la mañana, para poder ampliar toda la información al respecto. Okay. Acerca del ensayo, de cómo acceder a eso, todo esto lo podemos responder en la charla directamente. Okay. We don't have more questions for the FIU.
I can always put my email in the chat.
Yes.
So if you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email and I'll go ahead and help you. I do speak Spanish. Please, if you can, in English would be best, but if you need to schedule a meeting in Spanish or something, I can definitely help you.
Yes, perfect. Thank you so much, Areli and Claudia, for all the information. Ya saben que pueden escribirle al chat de Aremi, pueden hacer en español o en inglés, como ustedes prefieran, y pueden también tener todos los links que ella envió en la presentación. En los próximos días estaremos enviando esta presentación también y el webinar a sus correos electrónicos y estará disponible también en nuestro canal de YouTube para que lo puedan tener. Entonces, muchísimas gracias. Y thank you so much, Aremi and Claudia, for all the information.
Thank you so much for having us. I hope to see you all at FIU.
Thank you for
Yeah.
hosting us. We look forward to getting a lot of those applications.
Yes. Thank you so much. Bye.